Oh, it's definitely earned me more money. Just like Decatur, they were paying 70 cents more for summer corn there in August. We were hauling corn 100 mile for 40 cents, and we're making 30 cents, and I wouldn't even known that price was probably on there. I wouldn't have thought of calling Decatur, but when you go to the Grower's Edge page, then it takes all that running around out of it for you.
Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's February 26th, 2014. To my left is Logan Burgess and I'm Brock Shimino. We had a mixed trade in Chicago today. Let's turn over the quotes to see how we ended. Corn was down 1 3/4 cents. Soybeans, the leader of the upside, up 8 1/2 cents, hitting a new contract high at $14.08 on the March contract. Wheat down 15 3/4 in Chicago, and Kansas City was off 13 1/2 as well. Logan, we had a bit of a mixed trade here in Chicago, but it seemed like soybeans was the real driver of the trade here once again.
Yeah, you know, soybeans continued to show strength here. Take a look at the May contract on a 5-minute chart. We're looking at May right now because first notice date is coming up for March on Friday, so it's time to start looking at May and start rolling contracts into May. But as I said, a lot of strength out of the soybean complex in general today. We really marched higher throughout the trade session and closed near the highs. Tomorrow it's going to be important to see if $14 can cap this May contract. The March contract really plowed through 14 today without any issues, as you said, closing at 1407.5 here on the trade session. Now we know that the soybean market has really been supported by strong export sales here in recent weeks for old crop and really a lack of Chinese cancellations. So tomorrow I think that the export sales report is going to be that much more important for this bean market.
You know, let's take a look at the estimates for that report tomorrow. If we take a look at what corn is expected to show, 475,000 to 775,000 metric tons there. Soybeans 400,000 to 800,000 metric tons, and wheat coming in at 300,000 to 500,000 metric tons. So not big sales anticipated for corn. We've seen very large sales over the last few weeks for corn in particular. Soybeans is hanging there relatively well compared to a time of year when we're supposed to see that start to taper off a little bit. But tomorrow it looks like we're not expecting as big of sales as we've seen in recent weeks.
Yeah, and it seems like looking at soybeans, the range of expectations is pretty wide. You know, 800,000 tons for 1 week's worth of sales at this point in the marketing year would be pretty sizable, but we have some analysts expecting actually net cancellations. So it seems like a market right now that's a little bit uncertain here coming into tomorrow's report. As you said, Brock, we'll be tweeting about those numbers as they come out tomorrow. If we just kind of run down what else is going on in the grains here in today's action, taking a look at corn, relatively quiet trade there. We had slightly better ethanol numbers than we saw last week, up 2,000 barrels per day, but not a big story to talk about there. Additionally, we had a good an old crop sale, 101,000 tons to unknown destinations, so that was supporting things a little bit today. I think, though, corn had a relatively quiet trade, but the wheat market did have some movement going on there.
Yeah, we moved sharply lower on wheat, both in Chicago and Kansas City. Yesterday, Chicago was off significantly as well. We saw an export sale to Egypt actually get canceled, so that kind of pushed us lower yesterday. Today, we got a little bit of a pressure from some more information on the export front. Argentina, after the bell today, they announced that they're going to be releasing 500,000 more metric tons onto the world market from their reserves. So that is going to continue to add pressure to the Chicago wheat market here domestically. Another bit of information that we got is that Egypt is back in the market seeking cargoes of 55,000 to 60,000 metric tons, with the U.S. being a possible source for those tons going to them in the export market.
Yeah, it seems like right now Egypt's providing some volatility for the wheat market. We know yesterday we talked about cancellations by the Egyptians. Right now they're undergoing some management changes at their state grain buying agency. So, you know, as I said, it seems like yesterday's cancellations, today we see a new tender. So kind of mixed messages sent by the Egyptians there. As you said, though, Brock, that South American story could weigh on soybean, or could weigh on wheat here. As we know, less than ideal growing conditions in Argentina is one thing that kind of has helped wheat out here over the last several months. We'll keep you posted on those stories here on GrainTV, and most importantly, those export sales numbers out tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you then.